I have a gambling problem. Gambling takes many forms, and it can be casino gambling, it can be racing, it can be sports books, but also it can be eBay.com. On eBay.com, you can purchase things that are described as not working. Like you just outright, you are paying money and you know that it doesn't work. But you are gambling on yourself that you can fix that problem. And so I've done that. In this box is a Sony EV-C100 Hi-8 Player, which I purchased on eBay for about $200. In this case, this allegedly has a tape stuck inside of it. And in a true self-gamble, I believe that I'm gonna be able to get that out. But that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna try and get the tape out and then see if it'll work. And if it doesn't, then I'm gonna put it right back on eBay and somebody else can gamble on it. That's the beauty of eBay. So we're gonna give this a shot and we're gonna see if we can get that tape out. Technology from the early 1990s is oftentimes plagued by capacitors that leak or puff up or explode or any number of really electrical problems during that time period. So we're gonna hope that the only problem with this is that there's a tape stuck inside. So let's open it and well, let's find out. We're gonna find out together, you and me. You and me and all of it, we're gonna find out right now. We're finding out. So we're gonna get into the box here. It's much smaller than I thought it would be. All right, and here's the goods. It's even smaller. Oh my goodness. I don't think this came with the remote, but it is 120 hertz. So we should be good electrically speaking. And it does come with the manual, which is always nice. All right, more bubble wrap. I can use that to ship it out when it doesn't work. Now, I didn't actually even know that they made these little Hi-8 players. So here's the manual. This has some stains of dubious origin. You gotta hope it's coffee. We got a power cable, and we get the device itself. It's much smaller than I thought. Play button, pause button, a little fun spring-loaded transport control. On the back, we've got composite video and then S-video in and out. Well, good news is, sure enough, there is a tape in there. There is absolutely a tape in there. So, customer states, if you hit eject, it sounds like it's trying to do something, and it doesn't. So, we're just gonna plug it in. We're just gonna plug it in and see what happens. This is a polarized plug, so we do have to put it in correctly, which we will do. Oh, wow. Okay. So that sound indicates to me that this tape is absolutely split. I don't know, hopefully you could hear that. Let's see what happens when we hit eject. Okay, well, hitting eject does nothing. Does play do anything? Play does not do anything. What about stop? Fast forward? No. The power button works, but it appears that none of the other buttons work. So we have a different thing to think about here. It could be that the buttons just don't work. So regardless here, we're gonna need to bust this open. So let's do that. So right on the back, we've got 2 screws, and it appears that that's it. There's no screws on the bottom and nothing on the side, so it's probably gonna slide off. It is clipped on, so you can see here. I mean, surely somebody's already tried this. Like, there's no way that he didn't just sell it, right? I mean, I don't know. It sure does come right off. Makes me think somebody's been in here. Okay, and as I thought, this tape is just mangled. There's your problem. I mean, no wonder it won't play. So the tape, not looking great, not in the tape. The tape, notably, not in the cassette. So it's not off the tape. First glance, I don't see anything that sticks out to me as like being super messed up. So that's a good thing. I guess let's try to take this front piece off using these clips. Oh, why did the whole thing move? Yeah, it's like this whole mechanism isn't really in there. I mean, that has to come off. That has to come off. Okay. All right, we're making some progress there. And then on the bottom, it's gonna come off like that, maybe? No? It wants to just kind of fold away. But, you know, for as old as this plastic is, I don't wanna... Ah, there used to be a... See, okay, look. So there have been screws removed, because I see now there are 1, 2, 3, 4 screw holes that are not occupied. So perhaps I'm not the first person to try this, but golly, it seems like it would just be the first thing you try, you know? Now here's the power supply. Don't touch that, he said while touching it. Push down while pulling out. Is that the move? Dude, I feel like this video ends with me being in a hospital. Whether or not it's from this, I guess we'll find out. Man, that is a tight fit. They don't make them like they used to. Oh, ooh. That clips out. It just doesn't want to come off. Now this is a recorder also. Aha! Let's see, sometimes the right tool gives you a little bit of help. Okay. Nice. Great. Now we got 2 ribbon cables here. I don't know how much abuse they can take, or if they can even be removed. Okay, well that piece is ready to go. Oh, here's the thing. It looks like this whole, well, that's ready to go. I mean, do these just, yeah, they just slide out. Okay. Well, there you have that. So we got the tape mechanism out. This is actually really, really great. Like I say, I am a little curious because it's just missing so many screws that I'm like, how did, surely somebody got to this point, right? And doubly surely, there's no way I can't get it out, right? There's no way I can't get it out. So let's put this all down here. Let's put, oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, it's just really held together by nothing at this point. And what we need to figure out is how does it work? So you've got this thing, and I'd be willing to bet money that that needs to go down. Oh, well, there you go. So there's your mechanism. You twist that. Now it won't do it. And it brings the tape right up. Only half the battle is won. What I want to do is try to not destroy the tape. So we're going to bring the tape out. Oh, see, and it's going to be looped around there, because, like, why wouldn't it be? Because that's how it works. Aha! Oop, got caught on one more thing. Okay, cool. So here's the tape that was in it. It's Hi-8 Me. Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, so I can carefully try to wind it. Now, we probably will use this tape again, in fact, because I don't want to put one of my tapes in it if it's not going to work. Of course, that might be an insane method because I will probably end up right back here again. Life is a series of mistakes, mostly, but we just try to learn from each of them. There you go. Tape reset. Bam. Is that really it? That was the magic and that's all I had to do? Boy, howdy, I'd be shocked. I wouldn't be mad, but I would be shocked. And we're going to end up operating it with it open, which is just about the worst idea you can really do with electronics. Because you're just asking for trouble. I wonder if the reason that this got screwed up was because it wasn't even in. Like, of course, if you put a tape in and you're missing all these screws, it wouldn't work. It would just bloop. So we're going to reset the ribbons into the tape deck while trying not to lick, touch, or kiss any capacitors. Cool, that's in. Might need to give it a little love there on the bottom half, but so this is going to set down there. That's how it's supposed to sit. See, the power supply is not even, it's not attached to anything. I just don't think that's a good sign. Okay, well, let's put the front tertiarily back on. Remember how I said I was going to remember how to do this, and I don't? It's like the world's worst Lego. Very technically, it's back together. So now we play Danger of Electric Shock, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in first on this side, so I don't have to touch it. All right, so that's energized, so let's all watch me. Okay, the playhead started. You see that? Look at that. It absolutely did start. However, nothing else happens. But it did try. See, no, that's wrong. First of all, where's the door? The door is stuck up. Why? Is that my fault? Oh, actually, you know what? I probably didn't reset that cartridge thing right. So let's pull the power. This has, oh yeah, there you go. The carriage. That's what that's called. It's called the carriage. I should know that. My dad would have taught me that. So we've reset the carriage now. So now the video Hi-8 thing is there. See, it thinks it's playing. Oh, now it's turned off. Why did it do that? Did it get the tape? It got the tape. But will it play? Oh my God, it will. Although, you could already hear it starting to give up. But this is very exciting. This is extremely exciting. Now we need a way to look at it. And that's a little more annoying. All right, so after a little bit of searching, I found this old school Roxio video creator. Video capture USB, so it's got S-video and your composite on one side, and then there's USB on the other. So we're gonna try to plug it into the Mac. No guarantees that that's actually gonna work, because I just don't know why it would. Because I think the TV will take it, actually, but I'm not sure. Normally what I would do is I'd bring it into OBS. I don't know what these tape is from. To video. I guess that's like we were 12. This should do the job. This is we bought this in like 2007. We had a graphics card that had composite out. And we'd run it to our CRT televisions. So you could play video games on your computer, on your television. In like 2000, it might have been even earlier in 2007, it was old. So we're gonna plug this in. The VCR is still on, although I did notice it didn't count, which may or may not be a clue as to how much it works. Now, we're gonna turn on our Roku TV, and we'll turn on our stereo. We'll go to AV, moment of truth. No signal. Not great. Hit play. Because if I had stopped it earlier, because it seemed like it was gonna get stuck, but, oh. Okay, so that just scrambles. What? All right. Like I said, I really don't want to sacrifice any of my own tapes here in the event that this is what happens. But, like, if only I gave all my recorded or my fixed tapes back. It played. My excitement for the tape actually outputting audio and video for a second was short-lived, as the tape fell off the playhead and dumped back into the machine. I opened the machine back up and disassembled the tape deck itself to really start investigating why the tape was falling off the reel and not being wound onto the take-up spindle. Since I'm not super familiar with tape decks, I took my time gently removing the ribbon cables from the bottom circuit board. I wasn't actually sure if they were ribbon cables at all or if they were soldered. With the bottom board off, I was able to get a look at the gears and the belts that interact with the tape. A few of them were still blocked, so I had to remove the front plate and fold up a daughter board to get the full view. Since I had the mechanism exposed, I put the tape back in to see how everything would interact. However, without the tape deck being powered, this isn't very useful as none of the mechanisms can actually engage. After looking through the top of the tape deck, I noticed that there was a black plastic piece held in place with a small spring that appeared to be stuck and wasn't fully engaging. That spring also held a brake in place on each of the spindle gears, so I removed it to see if the issue was related to the spindles themselves being locked in place. Unfortunately, removing the spring did nothing, and the tape still rolled off the playhead after about 3 seconds. Still no. Flipping the machine back over, I identified the main drive gear, which wasn't really engaging with either of the spindle gears. I manually put it against the take-up side, thinking that this must be the issue. Since I was just testing, I left the front panel only half on so I could, easily get this back apart if I needed to fix it. And sure enough, forcing the drive gear onto the take-up spindle gear on the bottom of the cassette deck does in fact force the tape to play, right? Because now it's pulling the tape as opposed to pushing the tape. Problematically though, rewind still doesn't work because the drive gear is stuck now on the take-up side, so when you try to reverse it, it just falls off again in the other direction. After getting the machine back apart, I went ahead and added some lubricant to the pivot point of the drive gear and moved it back and forth a bunch of times until it was loose, right? So that it could move freely back and forth between the take-up side and the play side. After we reassembled it, sure enough, play, fast forward, and rewind all work properly. So although this ended up being a pretty frustrating project overall, it took a lot of tinkering, the solution itself was actually pretty simple. With these older machines, you have to make sure that the grease and that any of the lubricants haven't gummed up, and that all of your belts are in place. And so, you know, in the multiple times that I was in and out of this machine, we did discover that it seems like actually somebody's already been in here. The missing screws, the fresh lubricant certainly leads us to believe that somebody already tried fixing this, and I guess for whatever reason, they didn't find the solution, but we were lucky that we did. Now, these Sony EV-C100s can go for $600, $700, $800 on eBay, but that's not what the destination for this is. I bought this for my own purposes. I want to use it to convert my own tapes. I want to be able to help other people convert their tapes. At the end of the day, this gamble paid off. We were able to successfully diagnose the problem, albeit in a new number of roundabout ways and with multiple assemblies and disassemblies, but we got a 75% discount over what this goes for on eBay in working condition. So we're super fortunate with that. That being said, the tape that came in it, which is a Hi-8 tape, the Hi-8 tape just won't rewind. Now, all the other tapes will, but the Hi-8 tape, as soon as you turn that transport control backwards, it just ejects as if there's no tape. So that's unfortunate, but I have to believe it's just the condition of this tape. It's been in the player, it was sold with it in the player as being stuck, so I have to assume that probably the tape itself is damaged. I hope this was helpful if you happen to have one of these that's exhibiting the same kind of dumping the tape into the machine every time you play problem. In the least dark way possible, I believe that a lot of these machines are going to start kind of becoming more common in a way as the older generations move on. Also, I have to give a huge thanks to the YouTube channel 12 Volt Vids, who provided a lot of discussion and ideas about what I was needing to look at here inside of this machine. So big thanks to him. Check out his channel if you have vintage electronics. He's got all kinds of stuff that you might find really helpful, or at the very least give you some nice close-up reference images of what you're working on. I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time. And since this gamble paid off, I'm going to the casino.